Greetings. This is Professor Dan Heine from the Protestant Patriot World with our second viewpoint. Actually, third viewpoint, but the last one was 3 weeks ago, so it just seems like a long time ago. The topic I'd like to talk to you about today is called "The Land of the Free and the Home of the Brave?" ? But don't worry, as Henry VIII said to each of his 6 wives, "I won't keep you long." What I'd like to talk about is a quote from our Star-Spangled Banner. "Oh, say, does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?" Now, thanks to our American heroes in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, and our first responders, firemen, police officers, and emergency medical personnel, we are still the home of the brave. But unfortunately, officials of our current administration have called for defunding the police. They have suggested disbanding the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, even as our southern border is now presenting what former President Barack Obama calls an unsustainable situation. But since January 20th, 2021, we have been seeing violent protests led by groups like Antifa, which have targeted our police and other first responders, while the White House has said and done nothing to calm the situation. Members of the current administration have praised the violence in our streets, calling the violence the right thing to do. But now we're seeing the Justice Department being ordered to investigate parents who speak out against mandatory masking of their children in school and against the teaching of critical race theory, which is being aggressively taught in our public schools. You heard me right. President Biden has directed the FBI to investigate any parent who speaks out against mask mandates or the teaching of critical race theory. Doing so is a violation of their constitutional rights of free speech. More importantly, it reminds me of something. Free people should not have to live in fear of arrest for peacefully speaking out and opposing government acting beyond its constitutional limitations. Does this sound like the land of the free? My fellow American patriots, my father grew up in Nazi Germany in the 30s and 40s. If he were alive today, he would be appalled to learn that America, the country that he emigrated to and which he felt was his beloved and adopted country, is now doing the very same things that the Nazi regime did from 1934 until the end of the war in Germany, silencing dissent. Even more disturbing to me as an economics professor is that Janet Yellen, former Federal Reserve chairperson, is now the first woman to serve as Treasury Secretary of the United States. That's not a problem, but she has called for federal reporting of all transactions of $600 or more in or out of any account. Naturally, this is at the command of the president, who adds just one more intrusive government invasion of our private lives in order to control us. Mr. Biden, this is Professor Heine speaking. Our commander-in-chief does not have either the constitutional authority or the moral imperative to use the FBI as some sort of 21st century secret police, or to use the Federal Reserve as the central financial police. If people are rioting in the streets or calling for violent overthrow of the elected government, the FBI and other agencies would be the appropriate tool to restore law and order. But the current administration, in one breath, calls the actions of January 6th in Washington, D.C. a criminal revolt, but is inciting and approving of worse violence all over the country and trying to weaken our police and other agencies charged with our safety. This is more than a lapse in judgment, Mr. President. It's downright un-American. To add more Nazi control, the president now wants to silence the right of free speech and to create illegal seizure of our financial information in order to further control us. It's not right, and somebody has to say it. This is my opinion and my opinion alone. but someone had to express it.